They say you shouldn't let emotions cloud your duty, but what happens when duty faces something so human it can't be ignored? The heavy silence inside the prison cell was interrupted only by the hum of a flickering light above. Rohan Malik, just 21 years old, sat still on the cold metal cot, his back pressed against the damp wall, his eyes lost in thought. His story wasn't the kind you'd expect, especially not for someone condemned to die in 2 months. Upstairs in the precinct, Officer Yasmin walked with purpose. Her boots echoed along the hallway as she clutched a case file that had been haunting her nights. She wasn't just any officer. Yasmin had built her name on grit, control, and never letting emotion get in the way. But this file, this boy, something about it felt different. When she stepped into the dim cell, the air seemed to shift. Rohan Malik, she said firmly, you've been sentenced to death, but according to protocol, you're allowed one final wish before your time comes. If there's something you want, now's the time to ask. She expected tears, maybe silence, or remorse, but instead, Rohan's lips curved into a soft, unsettling smile. My last wish? He repeated calmly. I want to spend every night until then with a woman. Yasmin blinked in disbelief. Excuse me? He looked her dead in the eye and said, Why don't you do it? For a second, she was speechless, her fists clenched as she swallowed the anger rising inside. I'm a police officer, not someone who indulges criminals in fantasy. But Rohan didn't flinch. You asked. That's my wish. That night, Yasmin couldn't sleep. She wasn't sure what disturbed her more, the request itself, or the unsettling way he had looked at her, not with lust, not with fear, but with curiosity, a challenge. As the days passed, she kept returning to his file, something about his silence in court, his unchanging story. It didn't line up. And that strange calm in his eyes? It was the kind of calm you don't fake unless you've accepted something, or you're hiding something much deeper. Then one day, Yasmin couldn't resist. She returned to his cell and asked bluntly, You were accused of killing your own mother. Don't you feel anything? Not even now? Rohan's smile faded. You think I did it? The evidence says so. But what does your instinct say? His voice was steady, low. I didn't kill her. I came home, heard her scream, saw her already bleeding. I picked up a stick to defend her, but it was too late. When they found me, I was in shock. No one listened. For the first time, Yasmin felt her defenses crack. She had seen hundreds of criminals beg and cry, but not like this. Rohan wasn't pleading for freedom. He was asking to be understood. Then came an official letter from the warden. It confirmed what she feared. If Rohan's wish didn't violate the law or policy, it should be granted. The next morning, Yasmin brought him tea. She told herself it was just a gesture, nothing more. But his eyes lit up. You're kind. That's rare here. I'm still not doing what you asked, she warned. And yet, you came back, he whispered. That night, as a storm rolled over the city, Yasmin stood in front of the mirror. Out of uniform, no badge, just a woman. At midnight, she walked alone into the detention block. The hall was empty, silent except for distant thunder. She opened Rohan's cell. He stood up slowly, stunned. You came, he whispered. Not as an officer, she said, just as Yasmin. In the stillness of that prison, something unthinkable happened. They didn't speak much. They didn't have to. That night was about two souls crossing a line that had always separated duty and heart. Later, Yasmin listened, truly listened, as Rohan told her the full truth. How no one believed him. How the court rushed judgment. How he never got a real chance to defend himself. And something inside her broke. The next morning, Yasmin filed for a full reinvestigation. She faced backlash, rumors, and warnings, but she didn't stop because she believed him. Weeks later, everything changed. New forensics proved the fingerprints on the weapon weren't Rohan's. They belonged to a drifter who had disappeared the same night. Under interrogation, that man confessed. Rohan was proven innocent. He walked out of prison a free man. Yasmin waited outside in civilian clothes, tears brimming in her eyes. He looked lost. She simply took his hand and said, "You don't have to say anything. Just live." 3 months later, they got married. Yes, he was once sentenced to death. Yes, she had once locked her heart behind walls of rules and rank. But somehow, they found each other. Rohan now worked at a nonprofit that helped ex-convicts rebuild their lives. Yasmin had transferred out of field work into a quieter desk job. They lived simply, healing slowly, through shared dinners, inside jokes, and quiet walks through the city. But one morning, everything changed. Yasmin found a letter slid under their door. No return. Address, no signature, just one sentence. "You freed a murderer." I wasn't finished with him yet. She stared at the paper, cold creeping into her bones. Was it a threat? A warning? Had someone been watching them all along? That night, she told Rohan. He held her hand but said nothing. The fear was there in his eyes, but so was trust. And now she knew. The story wasn't over. Rohan had escaped the noose, but not the past. And Yasmin, she wasn't just fighting for love now. She was fighting to keep it alive. Because when the shadows return, some final wishes come with a price. If you want part 2 of this powerful story, let me know in the comments. This story is about more than just love. It's about justice, truth, and the fire it takes to fight for what's real. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. More stories that will touch your soul. Coming soon.